Hello, I'm Paul Light with Listen to the Eagle.
And I'm Burdock Caruth, and welcome to Vicksburg Daily News Film at 11.
Yes, and we've got a very hot topic we've been talking about, Bert. We got some great guests. I'll let you introduce them all, and let's get to the gist of the matter. It's about deer farming, and the Senate has passed it by one vote.
Absolutely.
Senate Bill
2530.
2530.
It is now whether it's going to come out of the committee to go to the House for vote. And we got people over here.
We do. We got Mr. Jim Miller. We've got Mr. Bill Holman and Mr. Tommy Snell. And we thank y'all each for being with us tonight, both for and against.
And he is representing the Mississippi Wildlife Federation, wildlife standpoint. Y'all are representing the deer farming. So let's just go ahead and start off with the deer farmers, because y'all are the one that's got this bill going anyway, and then we'll let him say what he thinks about it. Jim.
This bill, Senate bill, is going to the House. It'll be voted on probably next week. It is to provide an opportunity for deer farmers in Mississippi to build breeder pens, import deer and semen, and grow exceptionally great genetically improved deer in Mississippi. And it's a great opportunity for both the family farms to survive and thrive, and for families to get together and raise deer.
And Jim, you have concerns?
Absolutely. The concerns, it's hard to enumerate all the concerns I have, but one of the major concerns, obviously, is the potential for disease problems. Any of these fences, based on this law, could be hunted regardless of the size of the enclosure. There is no ethical benefit of hunting a deer in a 2-acre enclosure, or one that's been drugged, or one that's sick, or one that's been habituated to people. So I'm opposed to this for all those reasons and many more.
And I'm sure you guys want to take issue a little bit of that, but to clarify just a little bit, y'all keep saying this is a deer farming bill, not a hunting bill.
That's correct. The deer farming aspect will be placed under the supervision of our state veterinarian, Dr. Jim Watson. The hunting enclosures will remain under the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, where it currently is. They currently regulate the hunting of those enclosures and the deer breeders right now. It's already being done. We're just separating it out.
And one thing that you take issue, we talked about earlier, was that there's no way to keep these things from escaping, no matter who's in charge.
That's exactly right. The escapes will occur, either intentionally or unintentionally, and in many of the states where they have these captive facilities, oftentimes any doe that's infertile or any buck that doesn't meet their requirements are just turned out, and they have no responsibility for them.
But you say it's not a hunting bill, it's a farming bill. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. This bill does not address hunting. It only addresses allowing the citizens of Mississippi to farm deer in breeding facilities. Nothing to do with hunting.
That's untrue. It takes the responsibility for hunting license and hunting regulations completely away from the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks.
And keeping that simple, stupid, basically, if I go hunting at one of these farms, all laws don't matter anymore.
You can do anything you want to. You can shoot them at night with a light or anything else.
That's not the contention. Maybe we're going to have to get us a Philadelphia lawyer in to settle this bill.
Well, it's
but
pretty
no,
clear.
that's not the intent of this bill as it was written. That's just an interpretation of a scare tactic that's been proposed by someone there. It's not that.
That's not what the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks says. You can read it right there for yourself.
And what does it say? Go ahead and tell
It says, however, under Senate Bill 2530, Chapter 7 of Title 49, Mississippi Code of 1972 would not apply to farm-raised whitetail deer on deer farms, thus exempting these enclosures from regulations governing canned hunts, hunting seasons, bag limits, hunting license requirements, and any regulations set by the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. Thus, these animals could be hunted without any regulation or license requirements within these facilities.
Does it say it in the bill?
It absolutely says. It doesn't say it that clearly. It says, Chapter 7 of Title 49, Mississippi Code of 1972 shall not apply to farm-raised whitetail deer or deer breeding farms regulated by the state veterinarian. That's as clear as I know how to say
The
it.
understanding I have about that exclusion basically pertains to buying and selling of whitetail deer, which we're going to classify them as farm-raised deer. The ownership under Section 2, the ownership and title of all indigenous wild whitetail deer remains within the state of Mississippi for them to own and regulate.
That's not what the law says. Section 16 says it very clearly.
Closing remarks.
We just feel this is a real opportunity for the people of the state of Mississippi to get off the bottom in a category, not be number 49th. Our neighbors in Louisiana, Texas, Alabama are doing this to great benefit. We just feel like that there's adequate safeguards in place through this regulation and the supervision of Dr. Watson, our state veterinarian, to make this a profitable and safe endeavor.
Bill, Tommy, thank you so much. Mr. Jim, closing remarks.
Well, I guess my closing remarks is I think Aldo Leopold expressed it very well about this hunting business behind these fences. He said voluntary adherence to an ethical code elevates one's self-respect. Voluntary disregard of an ethical code degenerates and depraves him. And I think anybody hunts behind these fences, that's exactly what they have to consider in their own mind.
Bert, people can see this on Facebook.
Yeah, Paulette, I invite everybody to go to Vicksburg Daily News, film at 11. I invite you to go to Facebook. I invite you to go to listentotheeagle.com. My goal, which I think is yours, is to educate our listeners. You've heard both sides. I hope it's helped you. Contact your representative. There's still time for you to have a voice.
And this is the voice of the sportsman. It's not our opinion. We had both sides, as we will with many other issues.
And if you don't remember anything, remember this about tonight. If you do things your way, you will get your results. Some good, some bad. If you'll stop and pray, you'll get God's results. Think about that.
See you next week.